The social experiment of saying less. The power you lose when you talk too much. There's a moment. You've felt it before. You say something and instantly regret it. Not because it was wrong, but because you gave something away. Your energy, your mystery, your leverage. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The more you talk, the less power you have. Most people believe communication builds connection. But what they don't tell you is this. Over-communication destroys attraction, authority, and respect. And the people who understand this, they don't speak more. They speak less. 1. The hidden law. Power moves in silence. A psychological law very few people notice. The one who explains more holds less power. Think about it. Who talks? The insecure, the people seeking approval, the ones trying to be liked. And who speaks the least? The calm, the observant, the one who already knows their value. This is not coincidence. It's structure, because when you speak too much, you reveal your intentions, your insecurities, your need for validation. And once people see that, they stop chasing you. They start reading you. Carl Jung hinted at something deeper. Every word you speak carries psychic energy, and when you speak too early, you weaken yourself. That means every unnecessary sentence is a leak of power. 2. The social experiment. Try this. For the next 24 hours, say less than usual. Don't explain yourself. Don't fill silence. Don't Who's observe? And watch what happens. At first, it feels uncomfortable, because silence exposes something. Your addiction to being understood, your need to be seen, your fear of being ignored. But then, something shifts. People start leaning in more, asking more questions, paying closer attention. Because now, you're not predictable. 3. Why say less makes you more attractive? Here's what no one tells you. Attraction is not built through information. It's built through uncertainty. When you say everything, there's nothing left to discover. No tension, no curiosity, no mystery. But when you hold back, you create space. And that space does something powerful. It pulls people toward you. This is why the quiet man in the room feels dominant. The one who doesn't react feels dangerous. The one who doesn't explain feels higi, value. Because silence signals one thing. I don't need your approval. 4. Over-talking is a weak habit disguised as confidence. Let's break the illusion. Most people think talking more equals confidence, but in reality, talking more often means you're trying to prove something. You're afraid of being misunderstood. You can't tolerate silence. And powerful people, they don't rush to fill silence. They let it work for them. Because silence does something words cannot. It makes people project onto you. And once they project, they reveal themselves. 5. The shift. From speaker-observer. Here's where the real transformation begins. When you stop talking so much, you start seeing things others miss. Micro-reactions, hidden tension, subtle disrespect, unspoken attraction. You move from participant to observer. And this is where power lives. Because the one who observes controls the frame. So understand this. Saying less is not about being shy. It's not about being antisocial. It's about becoming more intentional, more strategic, more than Garros. Psychologically. Because the moment you stop talking just to be heard, you start being felt. And most people, they will never reach this level because they're too busy trying to explain themselves. The dark psychology of silence. You think silence is passive, that it means you're weak, shy, uninvolved. But here's the truth, most people never realize. Silence is not absence. It is control. 1. Silence forces people to reveal themselves. When you talk too much, people don't need to think. They just react. But when you say less, you create a vacuum, and humans hate vacuums. So what do? They start filling it. They explain more. They reveal more. They expose their intentions. This is why manipulators rely on you reacting, because the moment you react, they gain control of the frame. But when you stay silent, you flip the dynamic. Now they don't know, what you think, what you feel, what you're about to do. And that uncertainty, it makes them uncomfortable. 2. The power of being unreadable. Most people are predictable. They react fast. They explain everything. They show their emotions instantly, which makes them easy to control. But the person who says less becomes unreadable. And unreadable people are perceived as more intelligent, more confident, more powerful. Not because they are saying something, but because they are not giving access. 3. Why silence feels intimidating. You felt this before. You say something, and the other person just looks at you. No reaction, no explanation, just stillness. What happens inside you? You start overthinking. You wonder if you said something wrong. You try to fix it. That's not coincidence. That's psychological pressure. Because silence does one powerful thing. It forces people to face themselves. 4. Silence breaks manipulation instantly. Manipulators depend on one thing, your emotional reaction. They use tactics like guilt, urgency, confusion, emotional pressure, just to make you respond. But when you say less, or don't respond immediately, you break their entire system. There's a reason strategic delay works. When you don't respond, they start doubting their own control, and in that moment, they lose power. 5. Silence creates psychological value. Let's go deeper. Why do people value those who speak less? Because the brain associates scarcity value, abundance, cheapness. If you're always available, always talking, always explaining, you become predictable, and predictable becomes invisible. But when you're selective with your words, every word carries weight. It's like this. A man who talks all day, ignored. A man who speaks rarely, remembered. Because now your words feel intentional. The silent dominance frame. This is where most people fail. They think silence means avoiding conversation, being awkward, not engaging. No, real silence is different. It's calm eye contact, controlled responses, speaking only when necessary. You're not withdrawing, you're choosing. And that choice sends a message. I don't speak to be accepted. I speak when it matters. The psychological shift. Once you master this, you'll notice something strange. People start respecting you more, interrupting you less, listening when you finally speak. Because now, you're not part of the noise. You've separated yourself from it. And here's the deeper truth. The one who speaks less is the one people try to understand more. Silence is not weakness. It is withheld power. It makes people chase your attention, seek your approval, reveal their intentions. Because when you stop reacting, you stop being controlled. And in a world full of noise, the quiet one becomes the most dangerous. Silence creates power. Silence creates attraction. Silence creates control. But here's where most people fail. They understand it, but they can't execute it. Because when the moment comes, they panic, they over-explain, they fill the silence. They give everything away. So now, we fix that. The first rule: stop explaining yourself. This is the biggest leak of power. You say something, and then immediately add more context. Justify your decision. Try to make it acceptable. Why? Because you want approval. But here's the shift. The more you explain, the less confident you appear. Powerful people say things once and stop. No extra words. No emotional padding. No overjustification. Because explanation signals doubt. And doubt kills authority. Let silence do the work. Most people are afraid of silence. They think it's awkward. But silence is only awkward for the one who needs validation. Try this. Say something simple. Then stop talking. Hold eye contact. Don't rush to fill the gap. What happens? The other person starts talking more, explaining themselves, trying to gain your approval. You didn't do anything. You, host, didn't interrupt the silence, and that alone shifted the power. Use strategic delay. This is elite level. Most people respond instantly. Text, call, conversation, immediate. And that makes them predictable. But when you delay your response, you create psychological tension. Because now the other person is thinking, why haven't they replied? Did I say something wrong? What are they thinking? This is not manipulation. This is control of pace. Because urgency belongs to the weak. Timing belongs to the powerful. Speak only when it adds value. Here's a brutal truth. Most conversations are filled with useless words, talking just to fill space. Avoid silence. Feel included but powerful people. They don't speak to be included. They speak to shift the room. Before you say anything, ask, does this add value or just noise? If it's noise, don't say it, because every unnecessary word reduces your presence. Become comfortable being misunderstood. This is where most people break. They can't handle being misunderstood. So they over-explain just to feel clear. But understand this. Trying to be understood by everyone makes you weak, because now your behavior is controlled by other people's perception. Powerful people accept this. Some people won't understand them. Some people will misinterpret them. Some people will project onto them. And they don't chase clarity. They maintain position. Replace talking with observation. The less you speak, the more you see. You start noticing who seeks validation, who is insecure, who is trying to impress, who is trying to control. Because when you're not busy talking, you're reading, and the one who reads always has the advantage. The final identity shift. This is not about speaking less. It's about becoming someone who doesn't need to speak much. Someone who is calm, grounded, unbothered, selective. Because real power is not loud. It's contained, and when your presence becomes strong enough, you'll notice something strange. People will listen, even when you say very little. So the next time you feel the urge to explain more, talk more, prove more, pause and ask yourself, am I adding value or giving away my power? Because the man who speaks less is not silent. He is in control.